about resistance this week or resilience. So we're talking about resilience, overcoming resistance and getting into that place of strength and resilience. And we're continuing that conversation today. If we haven't met yet, I'm Tonya Rineer, and I help coaches and consultants and change makers build businesses. And what we're really talking about today is taking back that locus of control, that locus of focus by, changing what it is that you are choosing to focus on, especially during an emotional or difficult time. So if you haven't noticed, we're going through kind of an emotional time. The world is. So it's not just each of us individually. The world is kind of in an energetic limbo where there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unknowns. And there's judgment and there's opinions, and everyone wants to know what is going to happen. Everyone wants to know that they can plan. We're gripping for some sense of certainty and the ability to control what is going on in our lives. And when we are looking to the outside world for those answers, when we're looking to the outside world for strength and support and stability, especially when the outside world is in a volatile place and nobody really has the answers, it can feel very hopeless and leave us feeling like we don't have any control, that we're small, that we are disempowered, right? So it feels like we are in a place of despair, and all we want is for that confidence and that stability and that control again. So that is really what we're talking about today. It can happen when things are out of sorts in the world. It can happen when the economy is uncertain. It can happen when you're in business and you don't know what the answers look like. You don't know what tomorrow looks like. It can happen when we are focusing too much on other people's opinions, other people's judgments, what we think that they're feeling, what we think that they are what we think that they're thinking about us, right? So something as easy as this, jumping on a Facebook Live, could be scary. Talking to the world, sharing your message using your bold voice. If you get into your head and you go, well, what if the people that watch don't like it, right? That can cripple you and stop you from taking action. In a time where the world is volatile and things are uncertain, we stop making decisions and we stop moving forward because of that lack of certainty. So we want to really pull our locus of focus back to what we can control and what feels good. The first time that I ever did this, and I was blessed to have done this so young, was my 16th birthday. I was pregnant and I was thrown a sweet 16 party. People were literally bringing maternity clothes for gifts, which was pretty awful. I had just lost my mom. She had died 2 months or 6 weeks prior to that. And I was pregnant and there was some judgment around that. And there was people there at my party, people that were family members and friends of family that I had overheard talking about me in whisper form. And, they were saying that they didn't expect me to make anything of my life, that I was going to be a loser, that I was going to turn out to be, on welfare and just a washed up nobody, and that the child that I was pregnant with, had no prayer, right? And that hurt me a lot. But in that moment, I chose to take back control. That was my come to Jesus awakening moment where I'm like, you know what? I have a choice right now. I can either choose to let them be right, or I can choose my own truth. And I had to do some inner work to figure out what that truth was. And I discovered that I had a lot to give to the world. I had a lot of strengths. I had a lot within me that was good, that I absolutely knew to be true and that I could control. And so I want to ask you the same question, right? I want you to apply this to your life or business anytime you are feeling out of control, anytime you feel small in a world that feels big. And I want you to do this not only for yourself, but I want you to imagine teaching this to others, because when you teach it, you learn it twice. So ask yourself the question. The first question is, what is good? Now, in my story, it was what was good about me. I knew that I was strong. I knew that I was smart. I knew that I was resilient, right? And I knew that I had the strength to do this if I just focused on what my positive qualities were. Now, in your situation, you might ask, what is good about me? And you might have to do the same thing. Go inside and discover what is good about you. What is good about your strengths? What have you done your whole life to prepare for this moment? And how is it that you know, without a shadow of a doubt, right? What do you know to be true? What is it that you know that you possess that is going to get you through this? Okay? If it's a situation, what is good about the situation? Where can I find some positives? Even if they're small, we'll take them, right? What is good about this? So the first question is, what is good? And then the second question is, what can I control? Now, you can control your thoughts. If you choose to focus on something positive, you can control your behaviors. You can control, to a certain extent, your environment. What are you exposing yourself to? And do those things feel good? Do they contribute to positive thoughts, or are they taking away from those positive thoughts and feelings? And if you notice that what you're exposing yourself to doesn't feel good, make a change and do something different. So you can control your thoughts, you can control your behaviors and how you show up, how you act, you can control your environment, and to some extent you can control what you do with your time. So in a time when things are uncertain and it feels like there's a lot of overwhelm happening and you don't know how you're gonna get through the day, well then bring it down, and how are you gonna get through the hour? What are you gonna do for the next hour that feels good? And if that's too much, what are you gonna do for the next 10 minutes? So what feels good? What is good that you know to be true? And what do you have control over? And as soon as you start focusing on what is good and what you have control over, you legit bring your locus of focus, your locus of control back. You stop giving your power away to the outside world, and you take that power back, and you are now once again back in control. And you will immediately feel feelings of empowerment and confidence and control, and you will feel strong and you will feel capable, and you will feel like you are resistant. And that anxiety and that stress will subside because you're replacing it with something that is a better feeling emotion due to better feeling thoughts, because you took your control back. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to tell you today. If you haven't listened to episode 158 of the Raise Your Vibe podcast, that's a great one to listen to. It's 8 minutes, and it's all about playing for your fans, which is really about, what it is that you are choosing to focus on. In a world that's a little bit crazy, when you have haters and you have supporters, business and life, whatever, right? We can choose what we focus on, and that creates our truth in our environment. It will totally change the way you show up and the way you feel about yourself and your day. So if you haven't listened to that, go back to the Raise Your Vibe podcast, episode 158. It's playing for your fans. All right, you guys, I hope that was helpful. I love you to pieces. If there's anything I can do to support you during this time, please DM me or leave me a comment and let me know. And I will see you back here next time.